have Nokia, Samsung, iPhone, smart TVs, Franco air conditioners. They have chest freezers and refrigerators, washing machines, microwave blenders, and CCTV cameras. And they are selling all these things at 40% discounted prices. Okay, and so you can call them on 0246 422338 055 939311 or 030 22225651.
And also, Betway says that they're stepping it up to give their fans even more back with Betway rewards. Whenever you bet on sports or casino, you earn points that can be converted into cash. It's that easy. The best part is that you can convert whenever you want and can withdraw the funds or use them to place new bets, no strings attached. So start enjoying a whole new way to get rewarded with Betway, only at betway.com.gh. Remember, terms and conditions applied. Is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet the responsible way.
All right, and the grand finale of the Energy Commission Senior High Schools Renewable Energy Challenges here. Watch as 6 outstanding schools, Presbyterian Boys, SHS, that's Presec Legon, Adidume, SHS, Ahantaman Girls, SHS, Ola Girls, SHS, Kenya Ase, Damango, SHS, and Bokpa Technical Institute compete for the ultimate title of Ghana's Clean Energy Champion. Who will rise to the top? Join us on Tuesday, 7th October, here at the Accra International Conference Center at 10 a.m. And this will be live on Joy News. The SHS Renewable Energy Challenge is powered by the Energy Commission and the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, and in partnership with the Ghana Education Service and Ghana TVET Service, and with support from GIZ, Ashesi University, Volta River Authority, Greenfield Ambassadors, Star Oil, and PURC.
And of course, we're back to the studio. It's all about showbiz review. So yesterday, KiDi was here.
Yeah, he was.
And
Sugar Daddy. Salted Daddy.
And one of the things KiDi said was that he said we don't have an industry. In fact, he went on to say that we lack the structures that should form the Ghana music industry. And I think we should just listen to the audio. And
all right.
When we come back, we can start the conversation.
From where I sit, we do not have an industry. No, like it's there, like a Ghana music industry, but we don't have the structures that make us an industry.
At all? We don't have at all?
Everybody's just floating, doing their best with what they have, with the resources available to them, finding ways and places to put themselves and graduate themselves and grow. But the structures that form, and that's what you said, we get to a place and then it's like a house, a family. The parents have kids, the kids graduate from uni. The whole concept is, but we uni, no, I think I will be rap, and that's when he even needs like support. But it's set up in a way that one man for himself, you have to do what you can with what you have. After 10 years of all the hits KiDi has, if we have structures, I should be a mega superstar. But we're still growing day by day because it's one man for himself. You have to fend for yourself. You and your team have to find ways and means to get funding, to get videos, to do this, to do that, because the point blank fact is there. We do not have structures that make us an industry.
What are these structures you're talking about?
We know it. We don't have royalty collection. Like, I don't want to get into technicalities because I'm not a technical person, but as an artist in an industry, I can tell you for a fact, if you speak to Sarko, if you speak to Shatawale, if you speak to Stoneboy, everybody is striving on their own with their own team, trying to form their plans and marketing strategies, but we don't have anything. And we also have made it a point that only the artist is in the industry, but the industry is an ecosystem. The DJ is part of the industry, the music video director, the blogger, the dancer, everybody forms the industry. But when problem comes, we say, and the artist, why is Ghana music, and the artist, but there's so many people that come together to form the industry. If the artist goes up, the DJ goes up, the blogger goes up, the radio presenter goes up, everybody in the ecosystem goes up. But we've left the artist on an island and say, you are the industry, do what you have to do, and then,
This is Hitz.
Well, Hitz 1039 FM. And well, back to the studio.
Yeah, that's KiDi saying we don't have a music industry in Ghana.
Yeah.
I think this is not the first time I've heard this. I've heard a number of times from different people. But, okay, let's pick the thoughts of panelists right here. Robert is here, and then Mensan Chotame also here with us this morning on Daybreak Hitz 103.9. Rob, this is an issue we've heard over and over again. Sounds like a broken record, but is it true we don't have a music industry?
No, we do have a music industry.
We do.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you'd realize that when he made that statement, the first line when he made it, then he was pushed, and then he came back. I was like, okay, the industry exists. However, what he's referring to are the structures. So I think that in the pedestrian way of communicating, people would usually say we don't have a music industry when they want to say that the industry is not really working or it's not up to its full potential, or it's not necessarily achieving what it's supposed to achieve, so to say. Yes. So so the first line was a pedestrian way of saying it, but then he immediately denoted what he meant by saying what he
by breaking it down.
Yeah, by breaking it down.
Okay.
And then there he explained. And then in fact, at that particular point yesterday when I was listening, I was saying to myself, rather than going to want to play with the semantics to correct it, maybe the best thing is to just listen. And in the listening process, I understood exactly where he was coming from, because there again you'd realize that he's an industry like he practices in the space, so it's good for him to air whatever his feelings are or his discoveries are with respect to the industry, so to say. And usually you hear a lot of people say the same thing, and that's understandable. But when you review this from the lens of economics or anything within the business world, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that we need to understand that every industry has a life cycle.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there is an introduction stage, then you have the growth stage, then you have the maybe consolidation, and then you now have it maturing, and then you have it declining. And then at different phases of the life cycle, things happen to either ignites growth, and so it keeps going on, and then it goes through the cycle over and over again. So just like the way in a country, like in terms of naming, we have a developing country, and then we have developed country. But you can't say that because I am not a developed country, I'm not a country. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's there. You can't say that because Hitz FM does not look like BBC. So it's not a radio station. No, it's a radio station.
Good example.
Even in business terms, you can't say that a start-up company, because it doesn't look like a company that has succeeded over the years, it's not a company. No, technically speaking, it's a company registered on all of that. We have small scale company, SMEs, right? We have small scaled businesses, we have medium scaled, we have large scaled. All of these things exist. So I think that we just need to understand that with respect to Ghana, it's a developing. It's a developing industry. The industry is developing. We are the maybe not even introduction. I think we are probably at the late growth into the consolidation space. That's what you can say. So So I think it's about understanding what it is from that particular perspective, and understanding that when you describe an industry like this, then what it means is that there are teething problems. There are a lot of problems that exist within the space. And when these problems exist, you have to acknowledge that they exist, and then you have to have the will and understanding on how you can actually address it. So it's funny because how do you can't start an industry and already be at the end. It's like you all have to carry yourselves to the end. So, for example, if we have never created a mega superstar, so to say, then it means that we are at the point where we need to figure out how to create them.
Okay.
If you understand what I'm saying. So, prior to that particular structure may not necessarily exist. And so when we get to that particular point, then we need to create it, because we'll have to push those who are up there to the next level. But if we've never really gotten to that next level, then sometimes you don't have a need for creating the structures to support that. So that is why the development of the structures to support where we are going has to be continuous, so to say. And who is supposed to do this? It's supposed to be us. Sometimes
everybody.
Everybody has.
Like what you say in the ecosystem.
Yeah, but it is an ecosystem.
Oh yeah, of course.
It is an ecosystem. So everybody has to play a role, and and you're spot on with quite a number of things. And sometimes you only the musicians and the musicians and the musicians. And
what about you, the pundit? What are you saying? What are you doing to help the industry?
Yeah, and and then there are things that are also connected to, for example, the government or the systems, or let me say, so like the copyright office and what they are supposed to be doing. Those things are not made by us. It's supposed to be government, making the decisions to be able to support what we are doing. So we have copyright office that, for me, I think that for the most part, they have been a bit reactive rather than proactive. There are a number of things that are on their table that they are supposed to be doing, they haven't done. You know, if you fix some of these things, it directly impacts investments. If I can put 20,000 cedis into this particular space and be clear that with royalties, this is when I'm going to get it, this is a payback period, this is how much money that's going to come in. And then with that, you can now go to the bank and collateralize your publishing and say, okay, so these are royalties that are supposed to come. So in terms of my future earnings over 5 years, I'm expecting this amount of money. Bank can give you loan to do something, you know, so investment. So all of these things are interconnected, and for as long as we haven't fixed them, we are where we are at, and yes, we merit the description underdeveloped.
KiDi also says something about the fact that he started listening to radio even before he got into music. And all the issues we used to talk about, we still talk about them today. Doesn't mean we should stop talking about them?
No, it doesn't mean we should stop talking about them, but it means that it's a signal to us that we have been very slow when it comes to development, that we allow the problem to exist for far too long, and that maybe we are, unless we are saying that we are also comfortable with the problem, and that our satisfaction about problems is the discussion and not the solution thereof.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Yes. So how do you live with a particular problem for so long and not want to do anything about it? Because if you go to other sectors, there are people who are doing stuff for themselves. But we, because, we have platforms for talking every day, we are satisfied. So I told them, I was the first to explain, okay, and then what?
You made the headline with it.
And then what? You understand what I'm saying? So we need to ask ourselves hard questions. Are we happy with what we have? Are we the solution to the problems we see, or we just like to point them out and we take delight in the fact that we noticed the problem?
Are we improving upon the situation?
Yes. Or do we even have what it takes to improve upon the situation? Are we experts at pointing out mistakes and not finding the solution to it? You understand? Because if we've been discussing it for more than 10 years, then it means that we've noticed the problem like ages ago. And so we are experts at pointing out what the problems are. But question is, in terms of execution, solving the problem, how well have we done that? How well have we incorporated the various powers that be whatsoever to be able to address our problems and situations? I mean, those are the things, the structures that are there. I mean, there are a series of things. The more I learn about what underpins our problems, and I realize actually it's just the will. We need, like, it sort of feels like we have a lot of people in the space who are willing to be led, and we don't have leadership. We have people who are willing to contribute to growth and development, to introduce change, willing to do whatever it takes for some form of growth. But we seem not to have leadership.
Or strong leadership.
Yeah, like, leadership is about, progress, growth and stuff like that. Oh, okay, so well, you can say strong leadership. It's like there's a lacuna and we're just waiting for somebody to fill it and say, this is where we are going, this is what we are going to do. And people are just waiting. Once that happens, they'll follow. I think that is probably one of the biggest things that we have in terms of what's missing.
Okay, we will come back and then maybe try to get a few solutions here and there. But
Adam
Mensah Chotame, do we have a music industry?
Yes, certainly there is. Yesterday I was asking, are you sure? Because yes, if you look at the industry, let's first look at what an industry is, and I want to take this from the general industry we know.
Okay.
So when you say an industry, we are talking about 1 minute.
Are you now searching for it?
My phone is.
Your phone is worrying you.
I'm talking about a specific set of an economy consisting of companies that produce similar products or services. So a specific sector of an economy. So are we a specific sector of an economy?
We are.
Which consists of companies which is producing similar products or services. So like the companies, the labels, the indies, you talk about the promoters, the media, the promoters, Roberts and other people. They are these companies who are offering certain products or services. And there is that. It's an economic activity happening there, and certainly that kind of thing exists in the music space, where people are providing different services for economic benefits.
Right.
But you can talk of a certain enabling environment, which makes the industry thrive, or that economic activity happening there beneficial to everyone. With that, you can have challenges, and clearly that's our situation. And I don't think it's even limited to our music. I mean, when you go into our football, it's similar. Because if you want to compare what is happening with our local football to EPL and Spanish league, you may even say we don't have football. There's no football, like that industry doesn't exist at all. Because if you look at the wages people are taking per week, I mean, the support base, the supporters among others who go to watch the game. But at the end of the day, what we can do is let's learn from the best practices to make that industry look stronger. Because until then, we will not be able to receive or get all the benefits which a strong industry will give us. And I mean, if you are talking about putting or getting the right things done, I think everybody in that ecosystem of that value chain has a role to play. Right. I mean, the musicians, they have a role to play. We have heard, yesterday KiDi was talking about the fact that when the musician is moving, they are moving along with. Some who are pushing blame to musicians for not going along with some of their producers in terms of the remuneration they get. We've had countless producers, or we've had producers come out to complain about some remuneration or agreements they receive from musicians, which means they didn't carry them along. We've also had situations where musicians have come to say that some promoters have searching them. And we've had situations where journalists have complained about how a certain faces of the industry has treated them. And it's vice versa. So it means that Adena Kwese Koto, like, and that is also not helping and not appreciating, not appreciating people within the space who are supported. When you're not careful, it can kill people's motivation. And we need to, those of us in the ecosystem who are, regardless of the fact that the support systems are not there, we are doing it. We need to ensure we are honest with each other.
Adam, when you were talking to him, to KiDi yesterday, when he kept mentioning artists, he said no, and then pundits.
Yeah.
And then pundits. Let's do a quick assessment of punditry in this country and how that is impacting the careers of musicians or the music industry.
For me, Kwame, regardless of how a strong an industry, I mean, if you go to America, I mean, there are some podcasts where people who have worked with labels are even saying that the industry is dying. That, I mean, every industry has its own form of challenge, and it's not perfect. In that same vein, if you come to the punditry space, it's also not perfect. There are problems. And if there are problems or some negatives in that space, it can affect whoever these people are dealing with. You understand? I mean, if you go to international football, there are some commentators where Cristiano Ronaldo, among others, do not even want to greet. Like when they are doing interviews, like because they've said certain things about them they don't like, and it painted them like in a certain light. I mean, those things are they everywhere. But for me, I think that certain activities or actions by certain pundits are causing problems.
Driving
But-
investors. Driving away investors. He said that.
Yes, and not even only that, they are creating, a certain emotional troubles for artists.
Okay.
But that notwithstanding, artists, knowing the situation, they need to find a way to build a certain mechanism so that they cannot be directly be affected by some of these things. And I talk about, if
Are you suggesting that the pundits' opinions and how they go about delivering the opinions cannot be maybe improved upon, but rather the artists should insulate themselves against that?
I'm coming.
Okay.
So let me land where
Okay.
you get me. Now this mechanism, some do exist. That's where somebody makes a certain disparaging, false accusation and other things about you. You can take the person on. The redresses are there. There are mechanisms to redress that. Because, improving ourselves, some of these things can help people be mindful of what they say. Because you cannot go and, package blatant lie and place on somebody. If you do that, you are going against, the laws of the land. So people can be taken on to serve as, what do you call
Scapegoats.
not
Deterrent.
even- deterrent. And that notwithstanding, you the pundit also need to know your contribution to the space, and don't forget that you are also a brand. You are also a brand. You've built a brand in that way. So if you are a brand and you are going to pass comments which are lies, negative comments which are not based on any facts about people, then you are also going to put your credibility into certain waters. So you, the pilot, need to be mindful of some of the things you say, because it can come up and bite you. So now, ending from that part, artists, there are certain times that you hear artists talk about, feel like everybody should do the PR for them. It doesn't work that way. You need to be intentional about the PR, because the best form of PR should be controlling the narrative. And if you want to control the narrative, you need to trigger certain things to be able to control the narrative. You shouldn't allow people to create the narrative for you.
There is, you're an artist. There is a pundit who always goes on TV or radio to talk ill about you every day.
Yeah.
Falsehood, lies about you almost every day.
And you've not taken the person on. You are watching. You need to take the person on. I'm coming into the other side.
Get into it quickly so that we can.
Yeah.
We can
So artists should be very intentional about their PR.
Yeah.
Even if you look at the first gentleman of the land, he has so much media support. But guess what? That person has presidential spokespersons. They have a certain ministry which speaks for them.
Okay.
Then these same people, they have presidential press corps. And that notwithstanding, they are using their platform. So they have about 4 or 5 platforms,
All right.
which they are engineering one way or the other. So we should be very intentional about the narrative.
Okay.
Then if people are also denigrating us without any truth, we need to take the people in. And also, people must be, interested in their own
All right.
integrity.
Good.
And not go peddle falsehood on our people.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Edem Sancho to me right there. And we are having a bite on something KiDi said yesterday.
Yep.
That we don't have a music industry now. And he broke it down. Spoke about the pundits, spoke about the artists themselves, spoke about the entire facets of the industry and how investors and how they're not working well for them. All right. But we're asking, do we really not have an industry? Robert has explained that already, but we get into the details to find out what to do to get the industry working some more better. And we have with us also Nana Poku Ashes, who is an artist manager. Nana, welcome. Yes. Everything cool.
All good.
We are going to Takoradi this weekend, right?
Oh, we are going.
Yes.
Yeah.
In Takoradi. So if you're Takoradi, you're listening to us, get ready.
Tadi, what I say?
Yes. Live.
If you come out for what? Question mean team for. All right.
But the thing is, I don't only handle Kwabna.
Yeah, that's why they didn't mention.
And
Yeah.
then
Korean
Ponsatu, yes. But we are talking about the event that is happening this weekend.
No,
That's why.
That's why she linked
My
it
manager
to.
is here.
Yes.
Hey, managers have managers.
Hey.
It's like me and a mini manager. Charlie.
So I will watch my mouth.
Oh, Ashes, do we have a music industry?
No.
Oh, we don't
But do you?
at all.
Do you?
Yeah, we do.
How?
Robert says we do, just that we don't have all the structures well formed.
That's where they make their money from.
The place they make the
Ashes.
money from.
Yeah.
Ashes uses this line every time.
Okay.
When it comes to record labels, he'll tell you, do we have a record label?
Okay.
And that is why we need to understand. It's in the pedestrian way of articulating your views, that's fine.
Yeah.
But technically speaking, it is not right. Why? Because we do have.
Yeah.
Okay.
It may just not be
As
as you
What
want
you
it to
want
be.
it to be.
I wish you could take out that it's May. No, then we go to the.
Okay, it is not where you want it to be.
You could take. Do we really have?
But we have. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fine. I'll
Okay.
take yours.
So do we have a music industry?
Are you saying it because Robert said so? Oh no.
No, please stick to your opinion
No, my manager
and break
has
it down.
Right.
So KiDi was here yesterday, and
So I control my mouth.
So KiDi was here yesterday, and he was enumerating some of the things that are not going on well with the industry. A reason he thought that we don't have a music industry now. If you look back, let's just take the past 10 years to now. Would you say the music industry has made any strides within this period?
So, being corrected, I would like to stick with the correction.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only a fool who doesn't change. Just
Okay.
there might be certain things he knows I don't know. So
Okay.
let's just leave it like that. I think we have an organization. If you ask me, this whole thing looks proper like an organization.
Is it organized?
Listen, a company could be an organization. You know, a group of people can come together and form an organization. You understand me?
Yeah.
But the systems and structures that actually position that organization to become a proper entity or a stable is what we are lacking. You understand me? We don't have the system. We don't have the structures, basic structures. Listen, every proper industry, right, has certain governance, certain rules, certain abidance that they all follow. You understand me? And it also looks out for its people. This stable that you're in, Joy FM, right? If you work here for the longest time, you gain your employment. You are put on certain systems, right? You know your social securities will work. You know your salaries will come. You know lots of things. You have lots of amendments that come to help you, the individual, grow. Okay, so when you commit to such an organization, you know your future is secured. There are structures in place. Do you understand me? Where's our welfare structure? Where's our royalty structure? You understand me? Everybody is doing this to try and survive. Who looks after the people? We have music respected. Are their efforts enough to hold this system? We have Gamro. We respect them. Are their efforts enough holding this system that is called an industry? You see, it's not just a group of people coming together and they are doing some things. This one is doing this one is doing this. And then you want to, at the end of the day, leverage on that. There should be proper dialogue. Putting everybody under an umbrella. It is possible.
It is possible?
It is possible.
Okay.
Very possible.
Still possible?
Yeah.
Okay.
As to how leadership
Yeah.
is handled, mentality change can then follow, because we have a mixed mentality in what we do. Do you get me? And because royalties, which is the capital being of this ecosystem, doesn't work, people are not interested. When I was coming, I was listening. You said something. Okay, should you have an investor now, and he wants to put in $1 million, how are you explaining to that person how he's going to make his money from this industry?
Yeah.
How long?
It's not there.
Where? How?
Blatantly, it's not there. You would end up wasting whoever's money. And that's what we keep doing. We're recycling it every year upon year.
Actually, are we by this saying that other people who are investing in the industry are not
anything?
recouping any
Bro,
benefit?
This industry is a heart and love driven industry. The people who are investing, let me use some, right, lose a whole lot. A whole lot. Okay, Robert is here. I want to use Chatterhouse. We outside perceive they've gotten some money from Vodafone. So
But don't they get money from Vodafone?
I had the chance of speaking with Roland some time. One of the times you guys were having production, and he showed me some plenty list of things that where by the time they are done with all that money that you perceive is gone. I'm an event organizer. I put in, sometimes we might write a budget when we are doing our programs. By the time we are done, we have exceeded twice. We have lost. But everybody out there might think that when you go, the people in there, I'll tell you that 40% sometimes are on free tickets. So how does the return come? But if there were proper structures, if our systems are working, somebody's buying online tickets and nobody now, Charlie, I offer to take, if we have structures that we have, it's governed us for a long time and everybody is in line with that system, bro, it's a very lucrative industry. Here, it's a very, very lucrative.
Yeah.
You must be smart to do it on your own to be able to make that money.
Yeah.
If you depend on any other structures within this confines, you would lose.
All right.
That's why I would speak that it looks like there might not be that industry that we're all looking at. I saw creative art industry talking about creative awards and
yes, that's actually our
yeah.
next topic for
it's a
Creative
good
Arts
idea.
Agency.
It's a very
It's-
good
yeah, that's our
initiative.
next
But you
topic
see,
for
to me,
discussion.
they are very important things. To me, they are
Okay.
very, very sane things. I wish the industry would have tackled dialoguing. Where can we all go from here? Maybe they might put it in a forum for us to do. I know Robert and Co have done a lot in the master classes that you guys have done. But we go, we listen, they go anywhere.
All right.
Yes, and
Now you understand my point.
Oh, no, I understand you 100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there are so many signals I usually get when I hear some of these things. The first thing is that whenever a country complains about problems, every entrepreneur needs to wake up and smile. Because entrepreneurs are about solving problems. So if you go into a country where there are no problems, it means entrepreneurship was gone.
Sure.
Yeah, but if you have problems, it's supposed to get your juices flowing. Like, man, there are problems. It means there's an opportunity for me to solve them and make money. But here we are. I mean, because again, we've been oriented to look for jobs. At the end of the day, there are problems and then we complain because our mindset is not about solving the problems. That's one. Two, in a developing country, again, your national orientation should be to develop, not to wait to be handed over stuff. So we talk about problems here for over 10 years or more. And it is because our orientation is not to develop. We are waiting for somebody to come. Like, I'm wondering who. Somebody to come and do it for us. No, it has to be us. Yeah. So you see, again, and I'm saying about leadership because the people are willing to be led. We just need that leadership that says, this is what we are going to, this is what we are going to do, these are the structures in place, let's dialogue, we are starting with this, from this we move to that kind of stuff. And everybody will follow. Because if you hear, I had to let Ashes speak freely because he's in a space. He feels the pain constantly. And like these things are directly poking him. You understand? And so when they speak, you'd realize that it's deep.
Yeah.
And we need to be able to address it because obviously some of these folks, when you ask them, would you ask your kid to pursue the same path? They'll tell you no. Hell no. You understand what I'm saying? And the reason is because they seem not to be able to see the future. But it is because most of them are already in, they have to make sure that it's working. But we need to find a way.
All right.
Because there is a way.
Okay.
We need to be able to, find a way for these things to work.
All right, and since Ashish mentioned awards, and that's our next topic for discussion, it says the Creative Arts Agency to launch annual award scheme. So the acting executive secretary of the Creative Arts Agency, Gideon Ayikwe, has revealed that the body will introduce an annual award scheme to celebrate industry stakeholders. Now, he made this announcement on Joy FM Showbiz A to Z, hosted by Kwame Dazi. That's last Saturday, while outlining the agency's upcoming programs. He further disclosed that the agency plans to hold an annual festival showcasing all domains of the creative arts. According to him, the agency will also create a program for high life music, which he described as one of Ghana's intangible cultural heritage. The Creative Arts Agency is mandated to coordinate, regulate, and promote activities within the creative sector, as well as implement policies and initiatives that drives its growth. Let's take a listen to Gideon Ayikwe.
What you should also expect from us, which will be a flagship program of the Creative Arts Agency, and nobody go and replicate it, is the Creative Arts Festival. We'll have the Creative Arts Festival, which will run over a week or to span for a week. Everything creative, everything that you can think of will be very well planned wherever we're going to do it. It could probably be even multiple locations, but then it will span over a week, and then we'll crown it with a very huge concert, musical concert.
Take some to go for you.
Definitely. Now, the second one, which will also be annual, is the Creative Arts Awards.
Oh.
Recognizing work that you do, recognizing work that other people do. Yes. And this one, it's not the everyday red carpet, turn around 360 proper one. Not the black tie. If I say black tie, then we're losing our identity.
Okay.
But you have to come in something that will project you. It has to be a very prestigious event, something that people will look out for. We also have a High Life Festival. Yes. And this is to sustain our high life, to sustain our live band. Fortunately, live band have really come to stay these days. It was some time ago, it was fading off. Yeah, but these days it has come to life. But then our real high life, we need to project it. Who else can do that better than her? Spearheading it.
Break hits.
All right, so that was the voice of Gideon Ayikwe. He's the acting executive secretary of the Creative Arts Agency. Edem, I'll start with you.
Doreen.
Yes.
I'm not happy.
Why?
If I heard we want to, have an award which will do this, I would have been okay.
Okay.
But to make it a flagship, wait time no day, to make the award flagship and think about how glamorous the red carpet will be. Like my friend would say, at this time of the day, really makes me sad. Because, one of the things, we have a lot of troubles. You can have the awards, fine. But I don't want the award to be a flagship of the agency. Championing infrastructure, because we lack a lot when it comes to infrastructure development of sector. Talk of Accra, Kumasi. I had a conversation with the boss at Silverbird, and he was talking about the fact that the producers cannot make all their money at Silverbird. After that, you need to take the movie round. Now, the industry doesn't have licensed distributors. Why? Because infrastructure no day. So, such an industry, where is the funding for various, sectors? The development of skills for various sectors of the industry. Because don't forget that if the industry is well developed, it helps the government, because tourism, which creative art is part, contributes a lot to the GDP of the country. And our position has been very beautiful. We've been number 3 among others. Now, if you develop the space, economically, the country benefits. If you are not developing the space, where will even the people be for you to award? It got to a point where movie award schemes were finding it challenging in the Yanda review to get certain movies. I've been on certain boards where finding in the categories, finding certain movies to fit that category become problem. So if you do not set the foundations right, there are some categories in the award they will not even get people to award. So it can be it can be a product, or it can be an initiative of the creative art. I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be a flagship initiative of a.
Why shouldn't it be?
Kwame.
Why can't
me, if I'm to choose
coming,
for them,
why can't fashion art policies be flagship and then the award also be flagship at the same time? Why can't we have all of them prioritized?
By do we have all them prioritized? I mean, did you hear? This is
no. He was just mentioning. Wait.
So this is a flagship program.
He was just mentioning some of the things they want to do.
How many flagship projects did he talk about on your show?
I'm saying that he mentioned some of the things they want to do for the industry.
So
saying that the award scheme will be flagship doesn't mean that he's not giving priority to policy and all that.
Yeah, but Kwame, when
it doesn't
say,
negate that fact.
You
are making that.
Yeah, but when you say something is flagship, I mean, Kwame, when you say something,
does it flag any other policy?
No, Kwame. Kwame, these are words. It said it's a flagship. When we say something is flagship, what are we talking about?
He mentioned the festival too.
Yeah, I know, but it's not flagship.
Mentioned High Life Music Festival. He mentioned fashion show.
Yes, but
so why do you only have a problem with the awards as flagship and not the others?
No, Kwame. Listen to. I mean, the president had a lot of policies. Now, what was his flagship policy for the NDC? What was his flagship policy?
Talk. We are
24-hour economy. Now, when the president swore in the Minister of Tourism, now talking of one of the KPIs he was giving the minister, the president believed that his main flagship. I mean, when the launch, he said the main his flagship for the creative art is a Black Star experience. Now, when he was giving the KPI, when they were finally giving them sworn the ministers in, the tourism minister, the president once again.
That's a Black Star experience. Yes, and do you know the Black Star experience also ties? It ropes into all these other agencies and the activities.
So yes,
he even mentioned that some of these things that they're going to do, they will do that in collaboration with the Black Star experience.
But Kwame, my problem is I'm making clarity about the flagship. I'm saying that at this stage of the industry, the award shouldn't be a flagship program. I mean, other things should supersede that, because those things will, without even too much effort, will make the award scheme, I mean, stand out, and that glamours he won.
Point well.
So award scheme, if 1 year lucky, I tell you, baby problem.
Okay, point
that's
well.
Infrastructure.
Ask him now. So what should be the main flagship?
Yeah, he said policy, and I'm saying. So I made a point.
Your
that
opinion, what do you think should be the flagship?
I've mentioned. I said where we did now. I mean, some of the flagship project.
The award is not going to be held this month or this year.
The flagship we should champion infrastructure development in various phases of our creative art. I mean, because infrastructure brings development.
Good.
I mean, all the developed countries you are talking about, what do you think makes them develop? It's infrastructure.
Okay.
So if we want to develop our sector, where we did now and the way time day, we should champion assiduously infrastructure development.
Okay. All right. Okay. Rob, okay. Let's take Nana Poku first.
Yes,
Yeah.
Nana Poku has
That is
started.
not those.
No, I agree with what he's saying.
Yes,
Okay.
started that conversation.
It's more like your son owes school fees and you want to do party.
If 9 indoor auditorium day Kumasi, you think say
It's okay. Nana
Poku
Poku, yeah.
That is
point
true.
well made.
We need to look at the strength of the industry first.
Yeah.
These things are just a top up. Like it could add on.
Remember, Ivan Kwashiga also said that the NFA is also thinking about having a film awards, right?
Yes,
okay.
I remember.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey,
Those ones are like you organizing a party.
Top up,
anything.
But don't we already have enough of them?
Well, it's okay if he thinks that that's how he wants to bring people together. That's fine, but I will go with Adam. The structures need to be held together. That's why I said your son owes school fees. They do party. That becomes not what you are supposed to do as a father. You know, as a father, you're supposed to think of so many things which are very important in the house. And our house is breaking down. It needs proper rebuilding. It needs structures. It needs so many things. So ask them coming into power, which some people are already still there. You know, I know the Frankie Fives are still there and all those people. And they should be helping these kind of ideas that, no, at this moment, this is not what we need. For years now, this is what my people have been crying for. So let's look at this. Let's look at the royal system. Let's look at the play and pay. Let's look at... Those are systems that can come and help. You know, what puts money in people's pocket is what we should be thinking of. Not where the people are enjoying from. When it comes to the enjoyment, we can all enjoy at any time. You know, but if the house, the foundation is not built well, it will break down. You know, we were here where amphitheaters were promised us and nothing happened. I mean, they could just revamp that idea and finish it up for us. But we're all trying to say every time we go do something for stadium, they say, we could not stand on park, we could not do this. Yeah, the people are looking at a larger auditorium to do their things.
There was a time Kofi Kenyatta was struggling to have a venue.
In
Takoradi for his project.
So this brings me to the question: Is it that we
Ufia Accra sound?
Is it that we are not being
cannot help the
updated, or
industry.
maybe we are not updating these people well enough,
Doreen,
or they don't know what
let me
is
take
going
this up
on?
and finish up. It is the people who are closer to the presidency who are always our problem. The people who are closer to us as well and are closer to the presidency, which can chip in. They're supposed to chip in our plight. So that the first man sees how it's happening. Because the first man has us in R2. But the people who are closer to us don't have us at heart.
So is it that no?
This matter is still the court.
No, because my point is that why are you close to us? Know what is going on, and then when you go there, is it that you are quiet or you're not saying anything, or what is it?
They are in there who are not in our space, who come and tell us all the time that, Charlie, the people, they won't help you people. But the guys where they lead you people, you forget them.
Robert,
Charlie,
award though. You are an award organizer, so you have experience. Creative Arts Award.
So when I saw the stuff, the first thing that came to mind is again, I was looking at it in terms of priorities.
Yeah.
Then I said, well, I don't know, I don't have a full picture of what they want to do, like the entirety of the things they want to do. So I can't just pick that one and then make it feel like they don't have other important things.
They mentioned other things.
Yes. So, and unfortunately, I think the story didn't capture.
It highlighted this one.
He highlighted this one
and mentioned the others in the story.
He mentioned it.
Yeah.
So, but is that the full list?
Not the full list. Not the full list.
You know, again, I am one of the folks advocating for what the NFA team did.
Yeah.
You know, let us understand exactly what
he mentioned also, because I interviewed him, I know all the things he said.
Good. So that's what I'm saying. So
he also mentioned a creative connect.
Yes. No, I get you, but what I'm saying is this: that the story, if
they didn't capture everything,
exactly. So it will make you go off on a tangent that makes it feel like they are not focusing on other things of importance, because it is whatever the journalist has placed here that we are discussing.
Yeah.
So I would want to again say that I would to have that plan.
Yeah.
That says this is what we want to achieve. We have X number of years and X number of months. So for the next 3 years.
He said the next 2 years. So he mentioned the next 2 years.
So next 2 years or 3 whatsoever, this is what you want to achieve. And then you must have a plan and have a clear execution plan, how to make this particular vision come into reality, so to say. And then still engage. The word here is dialogue. We need to engage. Why? Because you see, sometimes they plan and the plan does not capture the full scope of problems that exist within the space. And there are people who have tons of ideas or tons of what ought to be done based on experience and how it can engineer growth and development. So that form of that engagement is important. NFA had their plan and yet they asked for a dialogue and they got more ideas. And they said that they were going to update their documents because what they've gotten extra information. So yes, it's good if they have their first level information in terms of plan.
Yeah.
But I think that dialogue has to take place because you see, you're not working for yourself. You're working for a particular industry. Industry has got pain points. They've got pleasure points. You need to understand these elements, and we need to translate that into a document so that you can use that as the Bible, or let's say, the blueprint for execution, and then share with us so that it's easier to monitor, and it's easier to also contribute our quota as and when, because again, for me, nobody has to fail. The success really belongs to all of us. So if anybody is placed there, we need to help them to succeed. So that thing for me is important. So yes, I would want to say that. But then again, there are so many areas. There are so many areas within the space. From we have policy and legal framework that we are supposed to be thinking of when it comes to IP, copyright laws enforcement, tax incentive, export support. There are institutions and intermediaries in terms of societies, the trade associations, the training schools, all of these things we need to focus on. Finance and investment, we have to focus on that. Human capital and education, we have to focus on that. Market, infrastructure and distribution, we have to focus on that. Data and measurement, which informs policy making. And one of the areas we've suffered heavily from is the fact that when they are making decisions, because they don't have data, they don't have information about us, they are not able to give us the sort of apportionment we are supposed to get. And we saw, what's his name, Obuo do that for music then, but that is outdated. And so we need that to happen. There are branding and export strategies that we are supposed to be having. There is an ecosystem coordination that we are supposed, there are a series of things within the space.
All right.
So, you would want to have that, all of these elements addressed and more.
All
so,
right.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to say because of this, because the story does not paint the right picture. But I would want to say that we need to have that dialogue. We need to be able to understand where they want to go. They should share the document so that we can give that feedback.
We need leaders who think differently. We need leaders who think totally differently from what the things have been. Because if you ask me, if you come and do a fashion show, you are just adding up to what was there yesterday. But if a leader would look right into the problem and want to solve it differently, do things outside the box, that could, at the end of the day, drag the whole industry, not just the music industry. This industry is big. It's really big. I mean, from hairdressing to whoever to craft to everybody's part of this ecosystem. Everybody's part of our ecosystem. And they all need to survive. All of them are not surviving, and that's the problem.
We need to go from survival to thriving. We need to stop
We are not even surviving, so how will they go thrive?
No, but now we have to talk before we reach there.
We have some messages here. Akro Kerry says they're watching live from Akro Kerry. And then Nana Kwame Prempe, he's written quite a lot. He says, what's Ashes talking about? We are confused. Go listen well to the dialogue session Sarkodie's Rapaholic Homecoming organized at Tech. He said categorically clear that music is one of the lucrative investments for people to go into. So how come Ashes?
But he also said that he also mentioned that when we have everything well in place. I watched that. So continue.
But Ashes actually said that.
Yes. So I'm responding to
maybe they
to the texter.
Yes.
Maybe they listen very slow.
Nana Kwame went on to add that honestly, Kwame, there are many award schemes in this country, whereas artists and creatives need investment in their various crafts to sell the country. Why would they receive or use high budget just to organize awards? Are the awards coming with an investment portfolio or funding that will enhance the awardees' careers?
I want to ask one question.
That's one of the
and the question I want to ask is very, very simple. And we should just use it to evaluate every program or activity that's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
If, for example, you say you're going to produce 10 amphitheaters, you should be able to give us your economic reason for it. If I produce 10 amphitheaters, it's going to cost this amount of money. My projection is that it's going to employ X number of people. There's going to be 10 shows from music industry. This is how it's going to impact the movie industry. This is how it's going to impact exhibitions and trade. This is how it's going to impact. So therefore, in totality, this is the economic impact that we are going to get from injecting X amount of money into amphitheaters in the country. Right. If we say we are going to do High Life Festival, what's the analysis around it? Okay, if we do High Life Festival, we are going to get X number of people who are going to provide this logistics. So therefore, this is what it means in terms of the cultural asset. We are going to. So we need to do that. and then evaluate each one of them and say which one should we tackle first.
Of course.
Okay. And then finally,
All right.
Nana Kwame added
You're
one
right.
Yeah.
more. He said that I agree with Adam 100%. Don't waste the monies. Film awards for what? When you complain, our films are not bagging international recognition. Instead, invest the process, production, producers, and characters to shoot a world standard film.
I agree with that
All
as
right,
well.
so,
See, one last thing. The Rapaholic that just happened in Kumasi, we saw the crowd. We didn't see the backstage.
Yeah.
I can tell you that the people who worked behind might be a quarter of the people who were in the stadium. People that thing employed. Crazy.
Yeah.
People who had their daily bread from that particular event. Half of the industry, you might suggest maybe a minute percentage of the industry, were in Kumasi. People just went to watch. Yeah. And all of them, somebody gained an employment.
Yeah.
So it's a sector that's really lucrative if we look at it very well. That's why we need leaders who would think outside the box, who would want to challenge government, who would present, like Robert said, present a case study to them, for them to look at it that, okay, this thing, if they put this here, this will come back. Not be every day.
Coca.
Kaya.
Well, this is where we wrap it all up. Is minute
This is
past
where we
10.
what?
Wrap it all up.
Okay.
I'm wrapping it all up. Thank you so much, Robert. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Ashes. And thank you to you, Mr. Hagler, for always holding it down. Supported by Debbie Sway, Nee Apness on social media, DJ Fantastic on music. And thank you to you for your contributions and also listening to us every day here on Daybreak Hits. My name is Doreen Avio, and I've been doing this with
Kwame Dazi.
and together, of course, it's still a morning. We're done with Daybreak Hits, but up next is Music Box with DJ Black. Enjoy and also continue to enjoy the rest of our programs here on Hits 1039 FM. Black is already here, so yeah, enjoy.